You're back. You made it.
I brought some sun with me.
You brought some red with you.
I'm not red.
A little red. A little bit red. It's fine.
Am I still sunburnt? Do I look sunburnt?
I don't know. Drop it in the comments.
Well,
does Tyler look burnt?
Yeah. Does Tyler look sunburnt? Does he look like he forgot some sunscreen on his trip? I don't think I did, because I was like, I had that 50 bottle and I was doing one of these.
But you were laid up though.
I was a little laid up. I mean, I got around okay. The tequila definitely helped me get around. But yeah, no, I've been having, so for those who don't know, or for those who care, I've been having some back issues, yes. And they were getting better. And then I took the 4.5 flight down to Puerto Vallarta. And getting off the plane was a little bit painful. I had a little bit of a hard time standing up straight for the majority of the week, but I got through it. And my family and I had a great time. So it was a wonderful vacation, and it was much needed. It's been a long time since I've been somewhere warm and have had this much sun on my face.
Well, that's a great segue, because we're about to talk to somebody that's apparently beachside.
Somewhere warm
that can
as well.
look out his own window.
Yes.
Anyways.
Shall I?
You shall.
But that's my, how was your week while I was gone?
Oh, yeah.
Busy.
Yeah, I just had to hold the fort down, no big deal.
Doing the work of 5 people instead of 2?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, yeah, so it's great to be back. It's so exciting to be back in the studio, and hope everyone's had a great week while I was gone. So, but let's jump into it, though. I don't want to keep Terry waiting. So we're super excited. We have done segments on CareCru in the past, and it is always a pleasure and amazing experience to have the CareCru team join us. So today we're being joined by Terry Burns from CareCru, straight from, where exactly are you in Florida again, Terry?
Yeah, guys, I'm down here in Miami.
Miami.
Yeah.
Weren't we just talking to someone who's leaving for Miami on Friday?
Yes. The doc that we were talking to just before this call is going to a bachelorette down in Miami. Yeah,
so.
she just got back from a bachelorette in Mexico.
What's Miami like right now? It must be a zoo during, isn't it spring break down there?
Yeah, Miami is a show right now. It's spring break everywhere. Spring breakers. There's curfews. It's just nuts. It's a madhouse. And I live right on the beach, so it's even crazier.
Wow.
Perfect.
Does COVID exist right now down there, or is it just a free for all?
It hasn't existed in a long time.
COVID is.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny because we were coming back, so we were there and we were only there for a week in Nuevo Vallarta, and we had to get tested before we came on the flight, before we came back to Canada. And I'm telling you, I think they were just doing these tests on us, and I just think they were just spitting out negative results for everyone because, I mean, the restrictions up here are pretty much getting lifted in a couple of days. So do they really care if you're testing positive or not? I know that sounds really sort of cynical, but it's not really.
That was cynical, man.
Yeah.
You just got back from vacation. That was negative.
Anyways. How's Terry doing today?
Terry's good today. Terry's good. It's a great start to the week, and I'm excited to be on with you guys and spread the word of what's going on in dentistry. So I'm excited.
Absolutely. I want to kick this podcast off quickly by giving a quick mission statement, or if we want to call it, or a vision statement for CareCru. Right off your page, it says, doing more with less effort. CareCru is a growth platform that enables dental practices to do more with less effort. CareCru integrates with your existing practice management software and then reveals health insights, intelligently automates repetitive work, and boosts team productivity. That is an all-encompassing statement of what CareCru does, yet at the same time, I feel like it does even more than that. So where I want to go with that is we want to cover a few sort of high-level points on CareCru. And do you want me to just jump in with the first question?
Well, let's jump in.
Okay. So I guess sort of where our mindset is, Terry, and we sort of talked about this, is what is dentistry facing in 2022 and beyond?
Yeah, that's a great question to start with, actually.
I kind of took a left turn on you there.
Yes, so many changes. But so many changes have come about. So I would see there's three top things that dentistry is really going to see 2022 and beyond is staffing issues. That's plaguing at every level and every practice. The uptick of teledentistry is going to continue to evolve. What that looks like is still going to be uncertain. The biggest change that dentistry is really going to face is the impact of technology and what that looks like. And so when we talk technology, we talk about augmented realities, virtual realities, guided surgeries, 3D printing, robotics come into play, and then also artificial intelligence. And that's where our wheelhouse sits, is in that AI world right now.
Yeah, totally.
And,
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
it's going to be exciting. It's exciting to see where it's going to go.
And as a nerd, like, yes, I can't wait till that robot rolls in, does the implant.
Yeah. But it's like you say, it's all moving so quickly. And I remember talking with you guys pre-COVID about how quickly things were changing then, before the pandemic was even on anyone's mind. So and I've always been in that digital space with dentistry. I was heavily immersed in CAD/CAM, did a lot with scanners, a lot with not printers, but a lot with mills, really started diving into the materials in CAD/CAM and all the rest of it. And then there seemed to be this major pivot to wait a minute, it's not really, yes, CAD/CAM is important in digital dentistry and digital radiography and all the rest of it. But now that seems to really evolved into the internal processes of the practice in terms of record keeping, how patients are coming into the practice, how they're communicating with the practice. So just like you say, all these things, staffing's an interesting one, and we'll get there. But with teledentistry and technology, what do you see in the tech, on those sides?
I want to add to that too. There's been so much development back at the practice with all the technical gear.
Yeah.
And it's exciting to see front end development.
Yeah. So I guess our question is, in terms of the front end development, you talk about AI. Is that built into CareCru?
Yeah. So our platform is based off the AI learning and how it has really evolved through our creation. So when we take a step back, what really created CareCru, and it was this enterprise approach. So our founders had this vision of the consolidation of dentistry. We really saw that with the uptick of DSOs, and these DSOs were not really led by dentists. They were led by, and they continue to be led by, businessmen. And so these businessmen come in and they look at efficiencies and they look at workflows and automations and redundancies and business continuity. So seeing that foresight, having that foresight, that launched, CareCru from its morph of an online scheduling tool to a complete AI platform that automates an entire workflow within the dental space. And it's very specific to dentistry. So it makes us really unique in that regard. And I'll say further, what we have seen in the past and what we're seeing is all of the other platforms that are out there are very siloed and they're point solutions, and they were built for the individual practice. So COVID has really accelerated this need for change and speed for change. And so we're seeing that happen across the board and across the industry. But fortunately, we have that edge. We have that enterprise approach, and we have that enterprise thought process. So, and we've scaled that down to individual practice as well.
Right, and it's pretty powerful to be able to put that into the independent practitioner's hands to say, hey, now you can optimize and streamline, and really sort of make that workflow a lot easier for your front end team and the whole practice in general. Correct?
Yeah, absolutely. And it gives a tool and resource to the individual practice that these DSOs are using, and makes it definitely affordable, as well as makes them more competitive in that corporate dentistry space.
Okay, cool. And while we're on this topic, sorry, did you want to?
No, I'm always ready to say something, but you're
like, I'll jump in. Don't worry. So you sent us. We have a workflow chart.
We
that,
do.
That Terry sent us.
Should I bring her up? How much money are you guys going to give me? There we go.
So this first slide, starting with the CareCru overview, supercharge your dental practice on autopilot. That's a powerful statement to me. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So our platform is designed to work in two ways. It's designed to work alongside the practice staff, primarily the front office, but it's also used in some instances where I've seen practices plug it in and allow the automation to take its course and run its course, and just see the success around that. So it's really designed to work to what capacity the practice wants it to work at, versus coming in and say we're gonna overtake all of the processes.
Got you. So I can see the three pillars there. So we've got patient acquisition, workflow automation, and then insights and analytics. So if someone wants to get their feet wet, they can say, okay, you know what, I want to start with patient acquisition and then see how it goes. And then they can say, okay, you know what, I like how this is going. I now want to move into add workflow automation into the process as well. And then from there they can, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, you're right. Didn't mean to cut you off, Tyler. You're absolutely right. We take the siloed approach as well, because change is always a challenge, and we want to make sure that we're not overwhelming the practices, and we want to make sure that we're also providing the solution that they need. However, we can make all of these work together. So we took the three biggest pain points that dentists and dentistry face in dental offices, and that's getting patients in the door and getting patients in the chair. Mm-hmm. And then it's also making sure patients don't walk out the back door. So how do we retain those patients, and what does that look like to keep them engaged in the practice? And then of course you want to make sure that you're measuring everything that you're doing to make sure that what you're doing is working. And if there's areas of improvement, we can help identify where those areas are by using the insights and analytics tools.
That's fantastic. And so for us, for like a marketing firm like Dentist on Demand, this is critical. So we talk about bringing patients to the practice. So we're the engine that drives the patient to the practice. You guys are the engine that opens the doors and says, yeah, come on in, right? So that's Correct. Where our sort of two worlds collide. But we kind of, like, a lot of the success that we have, we couldn't have without a software like CareCru, because if the office isn't bringing those patients in, converting them to a patient of record, and actually documenting how that patient got there and where they now are going to sit in the workflow, a lot of the work that we do really kind of gets thrown out the window.
Yeah. And I wouldn't say collide. I would say it's more of a beautiful dance.
Collide in a good way.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like a symphony.
Yeah.
You're right. You guys drive the patients in the door. You guys drive the patients to the website or to pick up the phone and make a call. And then we are on that front end support for the front office to help that patient journey go through the practice and help the staff maintain that patient journey through.
It's the most important job. Yeah. It's the most important
absolutely.
Piece of it all. Yeah.
It's the most overlooked.
Yeah.
The most overlooked, did you say?
It is. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. There's so much value to the front desk and the front office staff, but oftentimes it's negated by oversights on the hygienist and the revenue producing part of the practice. But without patients, there is no revenue, and that the calendar is the source of truth.
It can make or break a good practice.
Well, it's no longer one of those systems where it's answer the phone and book the patient in. Answer the phone and book the patient in. It's like there's so much more to the process than just answering the phone and booking the patient in.
Let's use modern technology to take the data and make that journey more efficient.
Yeah, absolutely. And really, where we believe is the biggest thing about dentistry is keeping it patient centric. And so when we were going through and building our platform out, the things we thought about is how can we keep the staff engaged with the patient when the patient's there? And that's really the patient experience, because dentistry is so high touch, and it's such a it's more of a I don't need it, but I must have it, versus a traditional medicine workflow. So you really want to make sure that patient is bought into the practice, and that human interaction can never go away.
Totally.
And so we keep that in mind when we built our platform out.
Yeah, I agree, because it's so easy to, and I've seen it where they're too caught up in trying to keep the process on track that they're losing that one-on-one connection with the patient, where they're worried about the schedule, worried about the payments, they're worried about, did I chart this correctly? There's all these different things that are happening. Let's face it, there's a million things going on in a dental practice at once. So the more you can automate, the more you can take off their plate. And I guess we're talking about the middle pillar right now, the workflow automation, I would assume. The more you can take off their plate, the more you can enhance that one-on-one patient experience.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And with dentistry, it's very specific with the workflows that every dental practice is different. But what we've learned through our technology and through the number of customers we have on our platform is the right time to engage, and how to engage, and when to engage, and what to say in those engagement points. So we've really built in the customizable workflows that are in our platform that help the practice manage that patient journey. And at the end, we see not only is the practice more productive at bottom line revenue, but it's also more productive at top line revenue by just adding more patients to the schedule, but also cutting a lot of the costs that are associated with that as well. And it reduces so many errors.
Yeah. It's interesting. And you're right. Like we even talk about like adding more patients to the schedule, and they're like, well, easy for you to say, I don't have enough chairs, or I don't have enough people, or something. It's like, well, maybe there's just a small tweak you need to make in your workflow to accommodate more patients. If we say to someone, do you want more patients? No, I've got enough. Okay. But at the same time, they're like, well, I'm not doing enough dentistry. Okay. Well, do you have a software that can help you do more find a way to do more dentistry, work smarter, not harder? And I think that's on your website too, is where it's like, you can do more by doing less.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. Do less with more. And this is really, if you look at dentistry as a whole in all of North America, this is a $15 billion problem, is managing patients by keeping them engaged with
Right.
just scheduled and missed appointments. It's insane the dollar value that we're addressing just with one of our solutions.
Wow. That's a big number.
Yeah. That's a lot of folks.
That's a lot of fillings.
Yeah.
And then of course, getting into the measuring side of it. So the analytics and the insights, that again, you can't fix what you can't measure, right?
Yeah, totally.
So
yeah, 100%. So with the analytics, we're looking at how well the staff is producing, how well the doctors are producing. We look at how well we're producing as a company, what our platform is doing. And they all work great when they're siloed out as point solutions. But when you put them together, you get that synergistic approach of really how they start working together.
Absolutely.
And it is really a holistic approach when you're talking to these dentists and you're talking to the staff, and they see really how it's going to impact their practices. And they what I really like about this, guys, is being where we're at in this space right now. We're also able to listen to what our customers are saying, and we're also to provide solutions to their specific problems by pivoting within our organization, because we are at that point where we have enough developers to do that pretty quickly as well. So, we're really excited about the things that we can do and the capabilities of our platform to help dentistry.
Terry, you mentioned staffing. So where does that sort of fit into the ecosystem with you guys? Like, because obviously I think we're seeing a continental, if not worldwide, shortage of staff. Does CareCru really sort of help alleviate some of that pressure? I'm assuming it allows less people to do more. Is that sort of where we're going there?
That's one way we address it. So there's really two ways to look at the staffing issue here. So you're right. The automation will allow less people to do more work. But moreover, we're also seeing turnover in the back. So we're seeing turnover in assistants, we're seeing turnover in hygienists, and even some cases associate doctors. And so think about, why are we seeing that turnover? What is causing these hygienists to leave? And it's two reasons. Typically, they're not respected or appreciated, number one, and that's with anybody. But number two, they have gaps in their schedule, and so they're back in the back and they're waiting for patients to come in and they have gaps in their schedule. They're not making money. And so they're going to go find a practice that will keep their schedule full. So not only are we, again, addressing the overworked front office staff, but we're also addressing how do we prevent the clinical staff from departing the practice as well.
Right. Yeah.
And that's often
big.
overlooked.
Yeah. Or they're not even aware of it.
Yeah. And so to say to the principal owner, hey, you know what, there's a solution here that will help you fill these gaps. Like it does it automatically for you, whether it's, recall or I'm assuming, again, the AI technology that you guys have built in, it'll automatically calibrate all those schedules for you, figure out how to get patients in last minute, emergencies, all the rest of it. It'll do all that stuff for you, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. There still requires some human interaction there, but it streamlines it so much, and it prevents a lot of the errors that can occur and a lot of the things to slip through the cracks. I'll share with you guys a story if we have a minute.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, so I was talking with a potential customer who's now a customer, and he loved the platform. He was on 4 different point solutions, so we were able to consolidate that, and it gave him a peace of mind that he could have one point of contact. And he called me and he said, "Listen, I just want to let you know I've just lost my entire hygiene department," and he didn't know what to do. So we took a pause and we did a pivot. He calls me 3 days later and says, my front office had an emergency. He had one front office staff member who had to take family leave. And so now he's left with just himself and the doctor. And so he became more dependent. So we got him on the platform, and he was like, this is an absolute lifesaver for my situation and what I'm going through. And so now he's looking at how he can repurpose that hygiene schedule. But he's doing it through now the analytics piece of it. And he's looking at, now that we've pulled the health of the practice, how much revenue is being driven by the hygiene department itself. And so how can we repurpose some of that time? So it was a big impact for this guy to lose his staff, but the timing for us to come in right after it was, or in the midst of it was a blessing for him. So.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's such a great, it's like a lifeboat, right? Because you're like, okay, well, let's operate in triage mode, right? Like, let's get you doing the highest return procedures or whatever you got to do. Here's where your stacks of money sit. That's a terrible way to put it, but it's a business, right? But if you're like, look, you've lost your hygiene department, let's put you over here, right? Let's keep you producing while you focus on getting your hygiene restaffed. That's critical. And to have that information, I mean, what softwares these days can give you that information that quickly?
There are many.
Yeah.
CareCru is,
I know one.
Yeah. So because for like being in dental as long as I have, like focusing on the analytics, like providing those numbers for people, it wasn't as important 5 years ago, but now people really are starting to ask for these numbers to say like, okay, well, how do I know how much my hygiene department is producing? Right? Where is my lost opportunity? Is there an opportunity? Do I need more patients? Do I have enough? Do I have a leaky bucket? How do I know where my
we know that there is, because there's $15 billion worth of opportunity that's sitting there.
Yeah. So, and like, we're sitting in here in the middle going, well, yeah, we're bringing you a bunch of patients, but you've also got, if I'm bringing you 20 new patients a month, well, you're losing 20 out the back door.
That's
so
right. Yeah.
We're wasting our time here. So we need to have something in the middle that actually can give you an educated glance at your practice, which is why we're so excited about CareCru. We've talked about it for a number of years now to say this is the solution we need as a marketing company to give us the information that we can go back to our clients with and say, look, CareCru's numbers are telling you you have a leaky bucket. We need to address that. So, yeah.
And we know a lot of the bigger outfits that they put it into practice.
Yeah. For sure.
Cool. Well, that's a good start. We don't want to get too, we could get.
I always get really granular with
You get
stuff.
so granular.
Did I go too deep with it today? Is that where?
Yeah, you're just too deep, man. It's like, I'm better by myself. I'm just kidding.
We're like, we're going to keep this high level today. And then I start asking you really specific questions.
Yeah, you're like, hey, what's your thoughts on the universe?
Yeah. That was great. And we're going to have, Terry, if you're cool with it, we'd like to have you on more on a somewhat regular basis, because you guys are constantly innovating, always bringing out new features to your software. So if you're up for it, we'd like to have you back on.
What I'd like to do is let's, next time we have you on, Terry, let's focus on let's get granular with one of the pillars. Let's do 3 of them, and then we can
So
go.
the acquisition, and then automated workflow, and then the insights and analytics.
Yeah, let's do that.
So we'll dive into maybe acquisition next time, if you're cool with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'd love to participate, help you guys, and share a message and share how we can help dentistry grow.
And we'll figure out how we can do the show in Miami on the beach.
Yes. Well, as of
Love to
April
have you
1st, we can just go across the border.
Oh, that'll be
Anything we
weird.
want.
Yeah, we should
Yeah.
just do that just because we can.
That's right.
Awesome, Terry. This has been awesome. We'll chat with you soon. Thanks for coming on.
Some great insights
Yeah.
today, Terry. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I appreciate your time.
Okay. We'll
Have
talk
fun.
soon.